Philadelphia Eagles will face the New England Patriots in their season opener in just 2 days, and during the lead up to the game, a lot has went down, as the Patriots seem to know that they're in for a really tough test for their first game of the year, with Bill Belichick and Mac Jones specifically making it known just what they think about Jalen Hurts, the Eagles defensive line, and just the Eagles team as a whole. But in addition to these things that the Pats mentioned, there are a few secret weapons that the Eagles have heading into this game that could cause a lot of trouble for New England, and one of those secret weapons is new defensive coordinator Sean Desai, and he's ready to unleash this new and improved Eagles defense in the first game, as it's looking like that unit as a whole could have a lot of success for a few reasons. I mean, overall, it's looking like the Patriots could be in serious trouble in Week 1 versus the Eagles, so we're going to talk all about why in this video today, so let's not waste any time and get straight into it. So the NFL season is officially underway after last night's opener between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions, in which the Lions very impressively knocked off the defending champs in Arrowhead. And this was a game where, even though the Chiefs didn't have Travis Kelce or Chris Jones, it really did feel like it could have been a moment that the Lions proved, hey, they're going to be a competitive team in 2023. I had said before the season that I thought the Lions were going to win the NFC North. Now, just because they won in Week 1 does not mean that that's going to end up being true, but at the same time, I do think it was a very impressive start to the season. I don't think anybody can deny that, and I guess we'll see if by the end of the year, the Lions are one of those teams competing with the Eagles to be at the top of the NFC playoff picture. But speaking of the Eagles, they begin their season in just 2 days versus the Patriots, and heading into the game, Patriots head coach Bill Belichick seems to know that his squad is in for a real test, as he didn't shy away from acknowledging just how good the Eagles are, and that started with some praise for Jalen Hurts, as just a couple days ago, Belichick was asked if they've been using mobile backup QB Malik Cunningham to mimic Jalen Hurts in practice at all, and Belichick said, quote, "You're talking about arguably the best player in the league, or one of the top 2 or 3 best players in the league. Nobody has anybody that can be him." Now, this is really cool because obviously, at least in terms of resume, Bill Belichick is one of the greatest coaches in the history of the NFL. I don't think anybody can deny that. So for him to show this much respect to Jalen, that's for one, not only an honor for Jalen, who echoed that as he said, quote, "I think he's one of the best coaches to ever coach the game." Those are nice words from him. But for other people around the league, they got to put some stock into that, because I feel like Jalen Hurts, despite the year that he had last year, still doesn't quite get the respect he deserves sometimes. But again, for one of the best coaches in NFL history, one of the best defensive minds in NFL history, to say that about Jalen Hurts, that I think tells you a lot. Either that, or Belichick's just trying to play some mind games here, making it seem like he has all this respect for Jalen Hurts and try not to give the Eagles any sort of bulletin board material heading into the game. But even if he is doing that, I still think it's really cool to hear Belichick say that. But this wasn't the only praise Belichick gave the Eagles, as he also said this about the Eagles' pass rush. Quote, "Their front is very dominant. They're the best pass rushing front in the league by quite a bit, and with good depth. They can roll guys out there pretty comfortably and then bring in other guys that are just as explosive, dangerous." And Belichick isn't the only one that heaped praise on the Eagles' defensive line and pass rush, as quarterback Mac Jones said this, quote, "They have the best defensive line in the NFL. At the end of the day, we just have to go out there and compete, try and control what we can control, and understand that we're going against a bunch of beasts." So it sounds like the Pats know what they're going up against in the Eagles' pass rush, which, like Mac Jones said, is stacked with a bunch of absolute beasts. I mean, this is a team last year that had 70 sacks, the 3rd most sacks in a single season by a team in NFL history, with a defensive coordinator that rarely blitzed. Which, by the way, this dude Gannon, I just can't stand him, man. I mean, he still won't take responsibility for being the main reason that the Eagles lost Super Bowl 57, but at least we can laugh at him now, because I'm sure you saw it, but that locker room speech that the Cardinals media team released was just ridiculous.
Who drove over here? Let me see your hands. Who took the bus? Did you have fire in your gut? Did you? We're here for a reason. Don't get that twisted, okay? We're here for a reason to win games. So if you didn't have that fire in your gut, you better light the fire pretty fast, okay?
I just don't understand how you make the jump from, who drove here? Who took the bus? Let me see your hands. You got that fire in your gut? But anyway, this video is not about Gannon, so getting back to the Eagles' defensive line, they're going to have a really good chance to go out here and take over this game, as not only are they the deepest and most talented pass rush unit in the entire league with so many guys that are capable of getting double-digit sacks in a season, but they also get to go up against the Patriots' offensive line that is kind of in shambles right now. I mean, in my last video, we talked about the injury to Riley Reiff, the Patriots' right tackle who was recently put on IR. He's going to obviously miss the first game versus the Eagles, plus the Patriots are also dealing with some injuries to a couple of their guards, and the Pats' O-line also struggled to protect Mac Jones in the short amount of time that he played in the preseason this year, so going up against this Eagles dominant unit is definitely going to be a tall task. and it becomes even more difficult because everyone's healthy and ready to go. I mean, Haason Reddick, who obviously is still dealing with his thumb injury, he's going to be able to play in week 1, even though he's going to have to play with some sort of wrap or club on his hand, so I guess we'll see how that affects him, but regardless, he's going to be out there, and so is Nolan Smith, as when he was asked if he was ready to go for the week 1 opener, he responded with, quote, "Does a bear in the woods?" So this fully healthy Eagles defensive line is going to have a chance to go up against this banged up Pats O-line and make things difficult for the offense all day long, and if the pass rush is able to take over this game, which they are very capable of doing, this game could get ugly fast. Now real quick, before we continue on with the rest of the video, I just want to say, if you are enjoying this video and want to see others like it coming in the future, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Around 80% of the people that watch these videos are not subscribed. If you're one of those people, you've been consistently watching the videos, you're enjoying them, and you love the Philadelphia Eagles, make sure you fix that right now, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any Eagles coverage coming throughout the season, and also watch my Eagles hype video. The season's in just 2 days. If you want to get hyped up for the first game, make sure you go check that out. There will be a link in the description. I think that's a win-win for the both of us. Now with all that being said, let's get back into the video. So going back to the pass rush, one guy who's going to look to make an impact on Sunday is their rookie Jalen Carter, and defensive coordinator Sean Desai seems to think that Carter could be a secret weapon for the Eagles in this game, because although yes, we have heard how amazing Carter has been this entire offseason, but we only really got to see him for a few snaps in the preseason, so teams really haven't gotten to see much of him yet, and Desai echoed this when he was asked about Carter, as he said that there might be an advantage going into this game because teams haven't seen Carter or his D yet. Pause. Then he said, quote, "Ask me after the game if we had an advantage." Now that's according to Martin Frank, and that is a really good point. The Patriots don't fully know what to expect from Carter heading into this game, so I guess we'll see how much of a factor that plays and if he's able to take advantage of that on Sunday. But while Desai said that Carter could be a secret weapon, Desai might be a secret weapon himself, as we don't fully know what to expect from Sean Desai's defense right away, and neither do other teams, including the Patriots. And Nick Sirianni had some interesting comments when he was asked about that.
Yeah, I think anytime there's unknown, that's an advantage. So I always think that, that's why we were very vanilla in the preseason. We didn't want to show a lot of different things that we plan on doing during the season. And so, just like a first-year staff, we got a new first-year coordinator. Here with the Eagles, so I think that's an advantage.
So it's definitely going to be really fun to watch Desai's defense for the first time, and as Sirianni said, it should be yet another advantage that the Eagles defense has over the Pats offense because of all the unknown. But the one thing that we do know is the identity that Sean Desai wants this defense to have.
We want to run, we want to hit, we want to impose our will on people. We want to embody the brand of this city and be gritty and be tough, and we're not going to take anything from anybody. We want people to be able to feel us. Physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever it takes, we want people to know that we're on the field too. And we're going to dictate how we play the game on defense.
Man, I'm excited to see what Desai does. I like his attitude and his mindset, and I definitely think he's going to be a big upgrade over that guy down in Arizona. But the last guy who could be a secret weapon for the Eagles heading into this game is a guy who I don't think many people have really been talking about this week, and that's the Eagles' senior defensive assistant, Matt Patricia. And I know, yes, some Eagles fans aren't a huge fan of this guy. For myself, I mean, when he was hired, I didn't really like it too much because of the whole situation with him and Darius Slay, but now it seems like they're able to get along fine and have a cordial working relationship, so I'm willing to give this guy a chance. And this week, he can be a big advantage because he's been around Bill Belichick a lot. He has a lot of insight into that Patriots locker room, the coaching staff, and everything in between, and Sean Desai echoed this as when asked about Patricia ahead of this matchup, he said, quote, "Matt Patricia has a lot of insight, especially in terms of the people there, the actual personal attributes of the guys we're playing against, because some of them we haven't seen much off the preseason tape. He's been great, a tremendous resource." So I guess we'll see how much of a factor Patricia ends up being, but I'm curious to know what you guys think. How big of an advantage is it to have Matt Patricia ahead of this matchup? Now real quick, one more thing I want to go over is the punter position, as at this point, it's freaking Friday, and we still have not signed a new punter to the roster. There's still no punter on the active roster, so it's looking like at least for week 1, it's going to be Arryn Siposs. He was holding kicks for Jake Elliott in practice, and just today, Sirianni pretty much confirmed that Siposs would get called up from the practice squad ahead of this week 1 game.
Obviously we think of it this way, where all 69 guys could be called upon at any time, and so you're working with a roster not of 53 but of 69, and so and we're able to do things to get we'll be able to do things to get guys up. that need to be up for this game. Obviously, special teams are very important. That phase of the game is very important to us.
I guess if he doesn't perform well, then maybe you'll see the Eagles go out and try and get someone else, but again, I guess we'll see how he does. But specifically for this game, I don't think that's going to end up being a big difference. I'm fully confident that the Eagles are going to come out here and win, and I'm just so excited for this season to kick off. And again, if you want to get hyped up before the first game, you can go check out my Eagles hype video that I just dropped a couple days ago on my second channel. Also subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any Eagles coverage coming throughout this entire regular season, including this week 1 matchup versus the Patriots. Drop a like on this video if you did enjoy it, and if you want to watch another video talking about some news from earlier in the week, you can go watch it right here. Now with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.